Look at this. The scenery is a little bit different up here in New Hampshire than it is down in Southern California. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Sometimes Vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes. I've been up in New Hampshire checking out all the beautiful leaves and the fall colors, the scenery up here. We dipped down to Massachusetts and checked out Salem. We dipped down to Southern New Hampshire to check out Haunted Overload, one of the coolest, most unique haunts I've ever been to. We went last year, but I could not keep myself away. And speaking of different, today is a little bit different. Instead of a Randomland adventure for you, I have this Sometimes Vlog, a little off-the-cuff thing, a little update. There's some important stuff that I want to talk to you about. Two very different things are happening kind of at the same time lately. One is I'm going to be in a movie, so let's just get that out of the way really quick. Today, October 10th, is the very first day that a movie that I'm in is hitting the streaming platforms. It's on Amazon Prime, Google Play. I think you can rent it on YouTube. I think it's also on DirecTV, like you can rent it on there. It's called Teddy Told Me To. You may remember when I went to Boulder City, Nevada, and I was talking about how I'm going to be in a horror movie. It was always kind of a little dream of mine to maybe expire in a B horror movie one day. And my friend Tom Devlin of Tom Devlin's Monster Museum and now Plan 10 Pictures has started creating a series of horror movies, sort of low budget, independent horror movies that are sometimes cheesy, sometimes fun, sometimes kind of dark and scary. They're all different genres of horror, and the first one is very much like a slasher flick. It's definitely not made for kids. There's a lot of adult situations. There's a lot of creative not being alive anymore situations, and it's a horror movie. It's a scary movie, very much like an old throwback slasher flick, right? That first movie, Teddy Told Me To, has just hit those streaming platforms today. Now, like I said, it's not for kids. It's not exactly a family-friendly affair, but I am in it. I'm actually in the very, very beginning of it. And so if maybe that's not quite your thing, but you want to support, because I think on Amazon, it's only a couple of bucks, and you just want to check it out. I'm in the very, very beginning of the movie, and then once I disappear from the movie, I don't come back or anything like that. So if you want to just check out that short part, or if you're really into slasher flicks, I mean, Halloween is coming up, you could check out the whole movie. By the way, speaking of horror movies, look at this cabin I'm staying in. Ooh, it's actually a very cozy, cute cabin, but there's something about it from this particular angle where you're like, oh, spooky, especially at night when there's no light out here and you just shine a flashlight on it. There is no light out here at night. We are staying very close to Lake Winnipesaukee. There's actually a pond or a lake over there through the trees, and so we're really up kind of 20 to 50 minutes from everywhere up here out in the forest. But the main thing I wanted to tell you about, other than Teddy Told Me To, so go check that out. If you're into horror movies at all, just give it a like, give it a follow, a view, a rent, whatever the thing is I've been doing something different. So on this channel, I have been doing a new show, and I didn't announce it. I didn't make a big to-do about doing this new show. We just sort of started posting the episodes and figuring, you know, maybe people will find it, maybe people will check it out. But something I didn't count on, because I'm not one of those guys that checks analytics or statistics or anything like that. I'm very much just sort of off the cuff, just post it, and if people find it, they find it, kind of a thing. Well, in this instance, what I didn't realize is if you do something completely new and different, the YouTube robots, the YouTube robot AI brain, the algorithm, whatever you want to call it, knows it's a little bit different, and so it doesn't suggest it to people. So I've been bumping into people who are like, you haven't posted anything in a long time, you haven't done any new videos or anything in a long time, but we've been posting new videos all the time this month, several of them, including this very brand new show, this new format of a show. We call it Randomland on Location. And it's a little bit of an homage to a hero of mine, Huell Hauser. It's sort of a man on the street kind of thing. And if you didn't grow up in Southern California, maybe you don't know who Huell Hauser was. He was on PBS. He was a guy who just did sort of a man on the street thing with a microphone and a cameraman, and went out and talked to interesting people, went to interesting places, maybe dived into a little bit of interesting history, sometimes some cool, like, attractions and different things like that. Sometimes just people's houses or just a restaurant and just walking up to people like, what kind of book are you reading or whatever. We did one at Midsummer Scream. That was sort of the debut premiere episode. We walked around the convention and talked to some people there. But we've also done some really cool ones where we've gone behind the scenes at a museum called Valley Relics Museum. That just got posted recently. We did another episode where we went to Not Scary Farm, speaking of haunts and scary stuff out here in the New Hampshire woods. Ooh, where we talked to one of the haunt creators, one of the haunt designers, the guy who actually wrote the whole storyline and helped to kick off the design of this really cool maze called, ironically enough, Cinema Slasher. Sort of ties right in with the Teddy Told Me To situation, right? It's sort of a slasher movie homage maze at Not Scary Farm. And we posted that and got a whole lights on tour there. We're gonna have another one coming up, another Not Scary Farm one, where we got to go lights on through another maze with a different person who works at these haunts, just to kind of show some of the creativity and the hard work that goes into creating some of these things. And even I, having experienced a lot of like haunt attractions and different stuff like that, I was completely fascinated with how much work goes into them, how much creativity, how much thought goes into the stories, into the setups of some of these things. Look at this place, it's so cool. It's actually really cute and cozy just in this gray light out here in the forest in New Hampshire with the clouds rolling in. It looks kind of spooky, doesn't it? Just a little bit spooky. Anyways, we've been doing that new thing over there, and so I just wanted to highlight that and kind of shout that out. Boy, look at this cobweb. Ooh, speaking of spooky, that's not a fake cobweb right there. That thing is real. And I wanted to put the word out about Teddy Told Me To. And also, I have a second channel, youtube.com/livefastdiepoor. That was my original channel when I started posting all the different Randomland videos. And then they sort of got kind of, I don't know, sort of popular for their time sort of thing. It was the first sort of big Disneyland show that was sort of taking off, and lots of people were watching it, and I just felt too much pressure, like there's too many people watching this. So I actually stopped posting and started this channel, started a whole separate channel, just because I was like, well, I don't need that much attention, kind of a thing. But it just kept growing and growing, despite my best efforts to remain underground, to remain secret and elusive. Anyways, look at this place, it's awesome. I have been doing these sometimes vlogs over there the past few months, but this month, instead of doing that, I've been posting clips from different haunt mazes, from different Halloween attractions, even Mickey's old Halloween party before the Oogie Boogie Bash took over and stuff like that. And I've been posting one clip for every day of October over there, and that is why I decided to move this particular sort of update video over here onto the main channel, if we can call it that, and just give you guys a little bit of an update. So I've been doing something different over here with the Randomland on Location show. We have more cool, different stuff coming up. There's all kinds of adventures coming up, and we've been posting a lot of episodes lately. I'm not sure why most of them haven't popped up for people, and they're going, I didn't see that video. Where's that video at? So maybe make sure you're still subscribed and all that kind of stuff, the notification bell, all those things that I very rarely ask people to do. You know, smash the like, ring the bell, check out your notifications, or whatever. So, and I mostly wanted to shout out the On Location show because we've had a chance to sort of interview and go behind the scenes at Scary Farm and Valley Relics Museum and these places with some really cool, really interesting people. We did another episode with my friend Spencer of Discount Cemetery. It's a sort of a DIY clothing brand. They print these shirts, and they run this whole clothing brand from inside their house up in the valley in LA, and sort of Halloween related because they do a lot of like spooky t-shirts and stuff like that. But again, a fascinating behind the scenes look about how t-shirts are silk screened and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a different type of show, different type of format. It's not an epic travel adventure or a theme park adventure, but some of the people that we've been talking to are definitely worth watching, definitely worth checking out, definitely worth giving those videos a watch. And so just in case you didn't see them, just in case they didn't pop up in your feed, I thought I would shout them out and shout those people out. Especially the Not Scary Farm behind the scenes stuff was like really cool and really fun. We got to do that with Ted Doherty, a guy who literally wrote the book. He literally wrote the book about the history of Halloween haunt at Not Scary Farm and how that all got started back in the 70s and how it influenced every other theme park haunt you have ever seen anywhere, including Universal Studios, including all of those places. So a pretty cool, fascinating peek behind the curtain there. And his book is out there, but you can find out all about that in that video. Anyway, I'm up here in the leaves. We are driving around. We're doing all kinds of stuff. Allie's just getting ready right now. And I'm just sort of doing this on the fly, off the cuff, because I'm up here with very limited internet access. And once I leave the cabin, I can't see anybody's posts. I can't see anybody's comments or replies or anything like that. In fact, half the time the internet goes out up here, which is sort of a nice break in one way for your brain. But in another way, I'm like, oh no, you know, I can't keep in touch with everyone. We're missing this paper or that paper. We're trying to call people at home. Can you find this thing? Can you post this thing? Oh, it's just sort of crazy. It's been mayhem trying to get some of those on location episodes downloaded up here from a guy who's helping me edit them back home so I can upload them and all kinds of stuff. It's just been nuts. It's just been crazy, but it's been kind of a good time. So you will see me from New England again, I think. And there will be more adventures coming up, including some on-location ones and your classic Randomland adventures. We went to a really awesome place yesterday or the day before in New England up here, which was a theme park, which is very, very epic, called Storyland, sort of a storybook theme park that was actually opened technically before Disneyland. So some fascinating stuff. All right, I'm getting out of breath, huffing and puffing because it's a lot steeper on these roads than you might think that it is just by seeing it through the camera. But yes, today, October 10th, this is when it gets started. And because, or the streaming gets started for Teddy Told Me To, that's my friend Tom Devlin's movie. And of course, I run a family-friendly channel, a family-friendly show. So it might be kind of a weird recommendation, but I am in the movie. And plus, I really like the fact that my buddy is doing very DIY. He used to do makeup effects for, well, he still does, for like big budget movies and crazy films and all kinds of B-horror movies. Just, he's done makeup and effects for every kind of imaginable thing, monster suits and all kinds of stuff. And now he's branched out super DIY style, super underground style to do his own sort of, almost you could say, punk rock type of movies. And so he's done a monster movie called Las Vegas Frankenstein. That's not out on the streaming yet. This very first one was Teddy Told Me To. It's sort of the old school slasher, not in the woods. It's got an interesting twist because it's a slasher in a haunt maze movie, which is really, really cool. Kind of a cool twist on the whole slasher thing. And ironically, there's a bunch of movies this year, or mazes this year at different haunts that are doing the whole slasher movie thing. So it's all kind of weirdly tying together. So if slasher movies and horror movies are your thing, please go check that out. Like I said, Amazon Prime Video, Google Play, which I've never used. Is Google Play any good? YouTube, I think you can rent it on YouTube. And if you have DirecTV, I think you can get it on there. And it's a couple bucks. You're supporting some independent filmmakers, and if slasher movies aren't your thing, I totally get it. But check out the Randomland on location stuff. We still have merch. We still have all that kind of stuff going on. Been kind of slow this year. Everybody's feeling the pinch. In fact, we're feeling the pinch as well, big time. We're right there with you on feeling the pinch lately. But it's really cool. We got to stay in this cabin because somebody last year after we were here in New England was like, hey, I don't know if you were serious, but I've got a cabin up in New Hampshire if you guys want to stay there again. And of course, Allie loves New England. She would move here in a heartbeat. And so I thought, well, someone's offering us a free place to stay. How can we not? So way back, like around my birthday, like in March or something, we got these tickets, the plane tickets, and we've been up here cruising around in a very sensible minivan rental car. We were supposed to have a smaller one, but they gave us a minivan, which luckily has great gas mileage. And so we're pinching pennies a little bit. We're making every cent count and filming tons of stuff up here, and also having a good time, having sort of the first kind of little break from the constant noise of being at home, you know, the type of thing that I've had in a long, long time. But we'll be back in Southern California very soon, and we'll be off on a plane to another destination after that very soon. So there's all kinds of stuff coming up. All right, I'm sorry for going on kind of long at the mouth here, but those are the updates. And just, I'm doing something new, and the internet doesn't like new, or the algorithms or the AI or whoever's in charge doesn't like new things. It's like, this video is different than the other formats. Let's suppress that and see what's going on. So just thought I would shout that out, let you guys see it, because I definitely want you to see Ted and Spencer and Julie and all these cool people that we've gotten to talk to, because they definitely are worth the time. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you very much for checking that you're subscribed and doing all that stuff. We really appreciate all the support over the last, man, more than 10 years now that we've been doing Randomland videos on this channel, on the second channel, which by the way, again, is youtube.com/livefastdiepoor. If you want spooky clips all month long, all the way until Halloween. And you can go back and check out some of the more recent Sometimes vlogs that I've done on other previous trips. And I got a question for you. Would you like to see videos like this? Sometimes vlogs, off the cuff vlogs, not always just me talking about what's going on in my life, although that happens too. Sometimes it's, hey, check out this cool attraction. Hey, check out this thing that I just randomly found on the side of the road. There's not time to film a whole long, edited 4K, crazy, cinematic looking video about it, but maybe there's just a time to jump out and do 10 minutes of unedited footage or something like that, would you like to see them on this channel rather than them being sort of buried on a second channel? And I would like it if you would let me know over on Facebook. I'm Justin Scard on Facebook, 2 R's. Justin Scard on Instagram. And we have a Facebook group, which I will link in the description. I'm out of breath from those stairs. I got a heart condition, okay? Stairs, my old enemy. And if you'd like to see those type of videos on this channel rather than the other channel, let me know. Let me know what's going on. All right, that's it. You've done your duty. Thanks for watching, listening to me gab on. We're gonna head back into the leaves, back into the New England scenery. But for now, you can go home and sleep well.